Good morning and welcome back to another episode on the Coin Kings channel. I am your host, Down to Crypto TA. Royal family, all right, we hit our target. We hit our target. Um, we hit it really perfectly too. We'll kick it off with the recap. All right, so like I said yesterday, everything was looking really, really nice in here. We were looking at this inside range over here. I did attempt a short over here. It was also a weekly level of resistance right here. I didn't feel like that was going to hold up. I gave you both the bullish and the bearish scenario, but I told you exactly what I felt like the charts kept pointing to repeatedly day after day, and that was to come up here and take the liquidity from the top side here, which was the mother bar. That was the next area of interest to take the short from, possibly considering down in here at the 50% retracement. But really, the mother bar is all I've been hollering about. Everything lined up with price action, taking that liquidity from the top side of the mother bar. So if you're looking at it from a monthly time frame, what you're going to notice is that we had a 3 inside up pattern. 3 inside up. It's a Harami pattern, something that I trade inside bar ranges all the time on this channel. I love them to death. Um, and that's exactly what we got there. Usually with a three inside up, though, you want to see price action close above the mother bar and then continue to cycle to the upside, right? I don't really know that we're there. Like I told you, really, this is all I was looking for here, was to get up here and take the liquidity from the mother bar. But before, well, let me just say that there is a chance in here right now. There's a chance in here right now around this 382 50% retracement that we can bounce from this area and go higher. I know everybody's looking for the position to the downside, and we're not going to choose a side in here. At least I'm not going to choose a side. I'm not going to sit here and be like, okay, now we're about to go to blase to the upside, or we're about to go all the way down here. I'm just going to let the chart tell me what it's going to do. If it invalidates this area in here, or comes up and fails to go higher and then drops down, okay, then that's just going to be the direction. But right now, there is a chance that price action holds right here at this 382, at this 50% retracement, and it goes back up and takes out this high. There is a chance, and that's all I'm saying, that there is a chance. I don't have a bias either way, bullish or bearish at this point. We did what I was looking for price action to do. If it does something more than that, then it's not what I was expecting for price action to do. And that's honesty. So I'm just gonna watch for that. Right now, we're you know, at this moment, we're not showing a ton of strength, and that's okay. But this 15-minute time frame does look like it may want to. Like, I got a bearish signal on this 15-minute time frame. I do have some bearish signals, but they have not 100% validated. So to say that this continues down, and like I said, just looking at price action, this is just it. If it loses this 38250, then we can take this off the table. Right now, there is a possibility of this being a 1, a 2, a 3. If it holds in here, a 4, and price action reverses up and gets up here to about 80,000, maybe even 82, 83. There is a gap up there as well. If you're looking at CME, we've discussed that gap, and that's exactly another place that we tapped into yesterday. So we're just gonna watch this. If we lose this right here, we can take that 1, 2, 3, 4. We can take that five wave here off the table. We can take that off the table. If we're coming back and we're tapping into this little wick over here, we'll take it off the table. Off the table. And then we'll start to look at our golden pocket, see if we can't hold some support at the golden pocket. I'm gonna tell you this again right here. This trend line right here that has been magnificent for us. It has been stellar for us. We can't come back down here to this. We come back down here to this and you're bearish. It's been great for being bearish because we got some liquidity to the downside. We got a whole ton of liquidity to the downside in a very special area that I keep harping on, where we have some double bottom liquidity. Is here. It's around 70,466. We got some very nice liquidity that's sitting down here. It changes everything for the trend, obviously. obviously, and we can continue to see price action roll over to the downside in that event. We just took this liquidity right here for an SFP. I'm not taking any long trades right now. I'm only holding my short position. Everybody who tuned into this channel knew exactly what we were looking for. Talked about it every day. Every day was right here. And you got a perfect freaking entry. Perfect entry. Perfect. I told you all you had to do was go over to your weekly chart, whatever chart you're trading, go over to your weekly chart, highlight this bar right here. Look for price action to take the liquidity from that bar. And I explained to you yesterday too, it could be the same scenario how we had this inside bar right here. How we just took the liquidity from the top, and now we could be looking forward to do this. We haven't got the invalidation yet, but we did take the liquidity from our top bar. I'm gonna unsync this from my other time frames now because I don't really need to look back over there to see it because we swept it. We swept it. We didn't sweep it as much as we swept that one, but we swept it for sure. And like I said, it is a 3 inside up. It's a 3 inside up. Right here, you can see it. It's a 3 inside up pattern. Typically on a 3 inside up pattern, you close above this mother bar and you continue higher. That's typically what happens on a 3 inside up pattern. Like that's what you're looking for with a 3 inside up pattern. Let me just put it like that. That's what you're looking for. It doesn't always play out. It can fail. It can just be a swipe of liquidity and continuation to the downside. Look your monthly though, it is a 3 inside up, okay? I hope I explained that well enough. And you can see here too, like if we're losing that golden I'm sorry, that 382, 50% retracement area there, and we're coming anywhere back down here to this wick right here. This is these levels right here from the 4-hour time frame. They're also around about the same place where the golden pocket is located at. That's also going to be your mean reversion here on the 4-hour time frame. Um 4 hours still has some sticking power. It does still have some sticking power. I don't necessarily like it, to be honest. It does still have some sticking power. Daily, let's see, we're getting a little closer to probably invalidating, um, which is fine. I closed out my long yesterday too. So I told you that once we got up there and we took that liquidity, I was gonna close out my long. So I closed out my long position. I only have my short open right now, and I have not yeah, I don't know if I want to consider a new long position. I'm gonna be very, patient when I make that decision though, so I'm not gonna be trying to catch the bottom on. I'm gonna be very patient with making that decision for the long. Alright, this daily time frame, we still remain the same over here. Like I said, fast signal weak, implied signal weak, Excel signal chop. Uh, if this RSI is gonna have any sticking power, I don't know why I have this color like this. I need to change that color because that's when I made the switch in here. I need to make it permanently on my code. I haven't done that yet. Turn that one on. All right. If it's gonna have any sticking power in here, based on that, this is still the same area right here. Let me take that one closer so I can see exactly what I'm doing in here. It would be something like that. And let's just say you're looking for it to get anywhere into here. That's what that would be like. So that equal low liquid no, that's the equal low liquidity right there. Um, Let me see what this level is. I can zoom out on it. Let me be sure. That would be what price action from a daily time frame would need to hold. Um, but by the time all of that happens, like you're under significant areas. You're under some major resistance. That resistance was hard enough to get up there and take that liquidity. So you're under some major resistance. By the time all of this right here happens. But the daily time frame does imply that if it holds in here to go back up, but how much it goes up, I don't know. It does imply that though. Let me sink this in so I can see what I'm looking at. Okay. So all right, so that is all right, so that's not bad. That's not bad because the whole thing here is making sure that we're not going below 72,815. So this liquidity down here could get taken into this level without us losing the 72,815.24. And if you don't know what that is where we have, and I've shared this too, that is where we have this flip level right here. This is where we would lose the weekly if we fell below that. So right now the daily is implying that if price can come back down here to back test this area and then get a bounce away from there. So that's what we have on the daily time frame. All right, if I turn this off right here, you can see it a lot better in terms of why this is an area that we need to maintain. All right, right here. Like it took a lot for us to get above this and flip it. So it does imply, again, daily does imply that we could come down to here. If we come down to here, we'll be looking for this to hold without fail and get the bounce away from here. That's what we got right now. I don't particularly care for the daily time frame right now in terms of um uh, failing to get this pullback. I think that this pullback actually happens on the daily time frame. Um, I don't like it, but that's what we have. So right now, that's just stick with that. We can't do that. All right. So just stick with that. So cool beans. I know exactly where we're at now. All right. So you got that. So I'm gonna leave that sitting there like that. See, coming into this 50% right now on the 1 hour. Let me push over here to this time frame over here. But we all got that. If you don't have that, make sure you get that. Make sure you mark that out. Mark that out. At 72. I posted this too. Like I was on vacation at the time when I posted on it, but I did post on this right before we got actually, yeah, right before we got this bounce away right here. I posted on X and it has all of this information right here. And it doesn't have these 4 hour levels in it, but it has this right here in it. Um, so you can go back and look at that down click the TA on X. All right. Let's see what we're gonna do right here. And again, I'm not gonna be in any rush for any long positions. I'm just not in a rush for it. Been watching us bounce up and down around this this level of momentum right here. Watching us come into it, bounce away, come into it, bounce away, come into it. If it crosses back up and we bounce away. I've been watching that, but like I said, I haven't even made any attempts. None. Typically I'm ready to jump on that. So glad I'm not. I'm trying to give a couple of things some time to settle down to. I had told myself told myself yesterday when I put the line down there, I was like, "I'ma enter as soon as we cross back up." Then it was just like, "Nah, just chill out. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Let it roll over. Hope well." I don't know if it's I don't know. I have the idea, I have the plan. I know what I'm looking at. So, if we can get this, 1 hour to do the same with the rollover, because I 'cause I'm assuming that, everyone here took the short. I'm just going to assume I don't give any financial advice over here, but, you know, I'm just assuming that if you tuned into this channel, then, or any other channel that was, pretty decent in calling for that, um, that you are already positioned, and now you're just trying to figure out what we're gonna do. And so we just have the invalidations, and then we'll see how the invalidations go. But this is first invalidation right here where we're sitting at right now. In fact, on that move up too, something else that we discussed, if you ETF, we talked about that. Dealers more than likely, dealers gonna treat that as resistance. We knew that that also lined up with us taking that liquidity from the top at 45 is one of the highest strike prices, on the chart. It's not the highest, it is the second to the highest. So there is a higher one that's up there closer to where this 80 to $82,000, level sits at. That price has the potential to get to if we don't invalidate the bearish, if we don't invalidate the bullish outcome. So that's why I just want to keep you up with that. That there is one that's up a little bit more, but that we watched this too. So if we were doing that, then you had that to look forward to. We got a couple of we got some downside gaps that could easily get filled. So this is a little bit lower than that golden pocket. Of course, the golden pocket was somewhere right in here. I think this is more so around the 786, but uh, I guess that would be with the liquidity grab of this, which this line right here, which is a little bit different. We got quite a few gaps down below too. The gaps are not my focus though. Do not make the gaps your focus either. They're really not. They're not really visible on higher time frames. This one is. This one is, and we tapped into that and little head and shoulders up there. See here. We just tapped the top side of the dynamic cloud on the 1 hour time frame. Mark it down right here. We just tapped the top side of the dynamic cloud as well, which is always a great place for price action to hold. So um, I didn't delete anything. Oh, I went up too far. I was like, "Wait a minute. I didn't delete anything." Alright, see. We're gonna get a Bollinger Squeeze on that daily time frame also. Standard standard, for the one I'm looking at is a bearish one, but, no. Let me get that buzz out of here. Imma delete this one. We got that liquidity. No major reaction there either. Okay, let's see. Looks different on something else. Let me look at another chart. It just looks different on the liquidity heat map, that's all. Let me refresh it. Let me see. See, you see over here on the liquidity heat map, you see how it has like this wick down here below it? Looks a lot different looking at it from there. Yeah, this is typically 48 hours, 15-minute time frame. I mean, not typical, that's what it is. 48 hours, 15-minute time frame as far as my knowledge is concerned. You see how that looks like a wick right there though. Hmm. I thought I was losing my mind because I had it on the 24 and I was like, where's that wick coming from? 'Cause I don't see that same reaction over here on the standard chart. It's right there too. I'm like, don't see the standard react. I don't see this reaction right here. Let me look at the last 3 days. Let's see. That's what that CME gap is. Right there. It's 786. 786 and CME gap is right here. Yeah. That's right here. That's that 786. It's that CME gap too. No, or hold on, was that CME gap too? I think so. 786. That would put us below previous day low. Let me check volume. So I'm just checking volume because if you're looking at this and you're looking at it from from a standpoint of it being a head and shoulder formation, it was possible looking at the volume. You had your largest spike of volume over here on this left shoulder here. And by left, I mean me looking at the PC, so me facing my PC. So had the highest volume spike right here, and it declined into the right shoulder. So this could be valid. Neckline is it's broken in that case. I'm not gonna put too much weight on it though. Not at least until we invalidate the possibility of this being a fourth wave. It's quite ugly in formation. So I don't know. It's quite ugly. To be honest with you, I don't even know where to begin with drawing out a neckline. And the other thing, like I said, it could be that this is, let me hide that for a sec. Actually, I don't have to hide that. Let me just do it like this. It could be, this could also have been, nah, never mind. I say this could be finishing out a 5 wave, and but that wouldn't be right for right here. The reason why I'm saying that is because we do this here. That could make sense for the five-way move down. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't look right with with this being a fourth wave. It doesn't look right with that. So possibly even if we do hold right here, we come up, put in a lower high and fall down. But this is pretty valid. I think right here we actually hit what, a 382, which is quite bearish to be expected out of a fourth wave between the 382 and a 50% retracement. So that's where we are with this right here. on that rejection. So oh, headache. Do you think decentralized finance, DeFi, will replace traditional banking? My answer was I am not sure. Leave it to the Coin King to come up with them questions. I'm not sure. Oh, I was gonna measure this out just in case. Just in case, since we do have valid volume on it. Let's see. See if we match up with anything. Hmm. As of yesterday, we don't flip gamma negative until here, which is 41.62. I probably, yeah, I'm not going to be here when market opens, but right now that's what it is, 41.62. I think that close to around about where, let me see what max pain was at. Yeah, 42 is max pain. But we're still gamma positive right now too. Which, again, gamma positive, they'll sell the rallies and buy the dips. Um, Dealers will. So like I said, you push up into something like this, it could act as resistance and you get a slight pullback or whatever. But as long as it's gamma positive, they'll buy the low and it'll repeat the cycle. So I don't know how useful that really is. Haven't quite decided yet. Hmm. I mean, besides this being, 50% retracement, we're in the middle of nowhere. I don't like middle of nowhere price action. I like for price action to tap into some sort of um, support level or something like that. There's no support right here. There's none. Just to be clear, there is no support right here. There's nothing that I can identify. It's most certainly not this chop. That's the closest thing to our left on this 15-minute time frame. I just really don't see this as being anything valid in terms of support. I don't see. I don't. Yeah, that's not. It's not any support right there. We're just here. Let me see. I got. That's my weekly stuff right here. I just wanted to see if it was anything. It's not. Like I said, the only other thing I noticed that it was just the top side of the cloud in here. It might have also been what? No, it's below 28, so it can't be that. Starting to lose it on MACD. That was there as well. Hmm. Are we going to reverse here? I think I'm gonna wait on the 1 hour. We don't have any information this morning. Today's Thursday. Nah, no high impact data this morning. Even the 1 minute is barely moving. Telling you it's 4 o'clock in the morning or it's nothing. 3 or 4. 3 or 4. It won't let me see. I didn't know that. Hmm. Karim. Good morning, Karim. Hey, how are you? Long time no see. um, on the last big drop, let's see, Binance liquidation heat map shows it dropped to 76.6. Ooh, 76.6. And you say on the last big drop? We've been so choppy. I don't know what the big drop would be. Uh, this is the lowest on this current drop. So my exchange Q coin only dropped to 77,200. Big difference. Yeah, that is a big difference. That is a big difference there. So if this is what we're talking about right here, that might explain what I was looking at on that liquidity heat map. I was talking about that wick was kind of crazy because it shows like this on the liquidity heat map. It shows that we left some sort of a wick behind, and it's not showing up in here. I was just saying that when I was looking over here at the heat map. I was like, where is this? Where is this wick at right here? Like it's so weird. It's so weird that I don't see this reaction on the chart. It's throwing me off too because we didn't get that reaction on the chart. Yeah, it's just looking at that reaction, it will make me feel like okay, bulls are really stepping in right there. This might, we might be holding right here, and just, you know, that's the end of the road here. Looking at that heat map, it's weird. Well, Binance always has something like that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just on this chart over here that I'm using on Trading View, we only did like 77. Yeah, around about 77 too, because that 50% retracement is just 77 147. So yeah, it's weird. Hopefully, we don't have some October 10th situation happen again. Mm. Again, good chance we could hold right here. Ugh. And folks, they might, I don't know if they'll keep us inside this little range right here. They might keep us in this range until market opens or something like that. Um, but what I said is what I look for. Look for this to get invalidated. Look for any potential move to the upside to be invalidated. A higher move anyway. And that'll be, again, if we're coming down and tapping anywhere into this right here. I mean, you got the 50% right there is really what I'm more focused on. But if it's coming back in and tapping that, then if this was going to be like like I said, a one, two, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, and this is a fourth wave, and then it's going to go up. It doesn't make sense with how I was counting that 5 wave through here. And I'm not an Elliotician at all. But if I can see something that I can make sense out of, I will. Um, that would take out this high and put us into like the 80. It doesn't change anything as far as how we took the liquidity. We really barely swept that liquidity. We barely swept it. Um, and that there's no rule on how much you have to sweep liquidity. We barely swept it on that weekly time frame though. Swept is swept though. It's swept. It's taken. And if you're short and we're lucky, we'll get that again, I suppose, and be the final move down if we're gonna get a final move down. But um, as far as that daily and up, we just don't come back below here. Big chance. Hmm. Bitcoin chart looks like we're forming a descending triangle. So one more low. Anyway, at least waiting to see price action. Waiting to see price action, but maybe getting in a long from there. Predicting the future, we go down to that level. Someone in here. It's messed up. Yeah, I'm trying to be real patient about taking the long setup. And the market is making me be patient too, because we're barely moving anywhere. I said normally, if I was, just here, I would have made an attempt. But we've chopped that line so much. I don't know. I think we're gonna one bad move on that 1 hour and we're down here. I am starting to think we do range in here for the rest of the time. If we do, then if we just range in here, I think we're more likely to pop up. If we do just range in here, if we stay in here, and probably more likely to pop up. If you were using these like EMAs, these are not EMAs, but if you were doing EMAs, I know this matches up with the 400, and this would have been your 200 right here. We're quite below that here. Means MACD is below zero right now, still above delta, but below zero at the moment. Flipping in and out. Mhm. I tell y'all one thing, for somebody who kept hollering about that liquidity sweep, I didn't get in on the liquidity sweep. I think I got in right here on this candle right here. It was after the liquidity sweep, after that candle closed. And right here is where I got in at. Which I had to see Blowfin. Dang. It's actually more like right here. It's more like right here is where I came in at. That sucks. That really sucks. Hmm. Looks like a little bear flag. It's probably doing it because we're hitting a little bit of resistance in here too. Let's say it's the resistance of these lows right here, not necessarily this ribbon stuff, but these lows right here. And it looks like we're creating some sort of a little small bear flag right here. At least that's what it looks like from, let's see. Maybe it's not. It's just kind of, uh, It's looking better. I kid you not. Ugh. Hmm. Let's see. No, yesterday we were looking at this back over here because we came back into the support level here, or what we're looking to break down from anyway, but we didn't. Once again, we got the little bounce there on USDT dominance from this ascending trend line down here. Larger pattern ascending broadening formation, which is bearish. Got this smaller structure through here. I'm not gonna call it a flag because it's not. It's extended out a little bit too far to be a flag, but it is a bullish structure, um, counter to the uptrend. So you'd be looking for this to break to the upside the same way counter to the uptrend on Bitcoin would be looking for it to break to the downside. Doesn't have to happen like that because the larger structure in here again is bearish. The larger structure is bearish. You just got this noise in between here. But we did once again bounce from there. Um, if we do break out, that would um, I still say we look for the double top because the worst case scenario would be we go into price discovery on on USDT dominance. I don't see price action move bullishly or break out in this sort of pattern right here. It doesn't usually happen. The only thing I can say I've really seen it do it on is something like I know Palantir didn't give a crap about these, and Palantir would get them. Yeah, Palantir didn't care about this sort of formation in here. Um, and then, like I said, on the weekly for Bitcoin, we did break down out of one of these on the weekly. Um, and the full measure move on it is the $40,000 level, which we haven't tapped into yet. Doesn't have to go any, things change in the charts all the time. All the time. But more favorable would be that this actually breaks down. And again, the measured move on this one right here takes it all the way back down to its macro trend line. Macro meaning for all the years from that low, it has held it up, which puts it down here somewhere. That would be the most bullish case for Bitcoin, which I'm not calling for that. I'm just throwing that out there. Apple. We came back up on Apple yesterday. Like I said, as long as we stayed above that 260? I think it was like 260, 261.50. I think that's what I was talking about. This is just noise, and we came up and we hit resistance. We came back up again. I could move this line a little bit. I'm gonna leave it like it is. I just don't like to see price action chopping around a trend line like that. But no real majors as far as I could tell for Apple. I know Tesla had earnings yesterday. Tesla looked like it was just going to be corrective, like I said. Let's see what happened with it. Ooh, no. Oh, no. It started grinding up yesterday. Red dot, red dot, red dot, red dot, red dot, red dot, though. I know the in here, yeah. So it's still fading. Still fading in here right now. It's still not over though. It's still not bearishly bearish just yet, I guess. I don't know. See the resistance we hit in here came from, if I do it like this, it's that weekly pivot. I either use the pivot or I use the range. Geez. It still has a chance though. Tesla earnings don't ever really dictate where Tesla price action is going to go. This is still good. As long as it holds on this pullback, it's still good. Let's see what we got here. I'm just going to put a fib on it. So it's at a 50. Then I just add that into the equation. Let me see something. Let me switch this real quick so I can see. So it's just on the red EMA, not EMA. It's just on the this red window. Oh, it's below it. Okay. So it's below here. Let me 6 hour this baby. Let me see. That didn't make a difference. How about 12? That didn't make a difference. I'm trying to find one that'll make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. All right, so just back to it's still not bad. It's still not bad. Tesla could still manage to hold a higher low in here. I don't know that 50 is going to be it, but it could still manage to hold a higher low. It is slipping the mean though, and it took a while for it to get above this section. You can see how it stayed down here below it bearishly, stayed below it, got that break up right there. What was the highest point in here? The highest point in here was this right here, but did it tap that? Let me see. Came close to it. But besides that, it would have been Tesla still has a chance, though. It still has a chance. Not showing any strength right now, but I think it can at least do about this golden pocket. And if it holds that golden pocket, then it'll come back up uh, for a higher low. I didn't like it on the higher time frame. I think I was calling for I know I was calling for something different in here on Tesla because I'm looking at it from a macro standpoint. And for me personally, let's see, we had did the 1 month, which was about 335, and then 32, 320. 322. Let me go to the 1 month. Because when I was looking at it here on the 1 month, we did a mean reversion here on the 1 month time frame, which we bounced from that center RSI right here. We did a mean reversion right here where it actually came down into that and then it bounced away. And then the next point, let's see, that was it was 335 at the time when it did it. And then I said if it came down any further, it would be this ascending trend line right here, which lines up with the last actual mean reversion for it to hold here. That's dropped down slightly, but my focus really has been on the trend line through here. Structurally for Tesla, it has this, well, it's like the worst case scenario where it has bounced from a few times right here. That's the worst case scenario. You see this little Tesla's not going to do any of that stuff I don't know. I don't know. It still looks good. It still looks decent enough in here that if it just comes back in here to this golden pocket right here and holds, then Tesla bounces away. Monthly time frame doesn't look cheesy. It doesn't look cheesy at all. It looks decent. I don't even know what happened with earnings yesterday. I don't know what the information was. I didn't watch the earnings call or any of that. But if Tesla doesn't hold there, then that's exactly what I would be looking for. Because I know for a while we were calling for the low 300s. There was some unusual well activity that put it down into the low threes. I'm not buying Tesla. I know that. If Tesla did something like this, I'd be a buyer. I buy. But even if it just did this, I wouldn't buy it. It's just not, which is what I think possible from a macro standpoint. 3 month, I mean, macro, it looks good. It never slips that low. Never slips that low. So, I don't know. It never slips that low. But yeah, maybe somewhere about around about here. This next level down. Possible. That's possible. Tesla. That looks nasty. I'm going back to Bitcoin. I still think that oil might do this 99.31 to about that 105 again. I don't think it comes back up here. Um, but I do still think that it does somewhere about here to here. Bitcoin's still trying to make it. It's still in that range though right now. Looking a little bear flaggy, but I don't know. I think we got above both of those VWAPs this time. Oh no, not that. Oh, okay, but that is eh, PLC. I had stopped looking at that. I had stopped looking at it. That's where it's rejecting from. Okay, from the PLC. I was watching the VWAPs in here. I still think it can do this though. This had been a repetitive rejection area right here. But interesting. Interesting. I added a level in here for SPY. It's a zone actually. Because you really don't have anything in here. It's in price discovery right now. So I'm looking at this 717. I think that there was a level like slightly in here somewhere around 720 or something like that, but I just finished it out with the entire zone in here. I don't have it labeled as a weekly level because it's actually not. The only way to kind of like figure out where it might go to is to use like deviation. And so the next deviation would be right here if we do continue to the upside, which it does. Like I was saying, like in here, it looked corrective at best. Even though we had broke below this momentum line through here, we've just kind of been sideways with it, putting in bullish divvies down here. Yeah, we've just been putting in bullish divergence, and that's why we're going sideways right now because of the lows through here. Doesn't have the let me make sure. Yeah, you had that one bear div. Had that one bear div right here. but it still looks like once it comes down, it comes back up. Could just be for a lower high. It didn't get overly extended or anything like that, or relatively strong. It didn't get too. I mean, it looks good through here, but I don't know. You know, this initial rejection area over here was is that a one? What's that what was that initial rejection? Yeah, 786. 786 was that initial rejection in here. Um, so if you after that, the one to one would be right there at the 746, and that's just doing the fib extension. I didn't see that happening. I think the zone that I highlighted out came from a monthly time frame right in here on the standard deviation was right in here. But I guess if if we're looking for the continuation up, then one to one could I mean could tap into that one to one on the fib extension. Mm, bear diving like crazy. Triple top. I'm just chilling through here while Bitcoin is just sitting idle. Cues. Good Dow. Dow try to move when everything else is, and Nasdaq still holding strong. Man, Broadcom. Total beast mode. Mm, mm. I didn't expect for it to be above that 3. Uh, and say it commonly taps out around that 3, but it's actually above that 3. Let me see. Bollinger, Broadcom. It's killing it. Last time we waited for Broadcom to come back into the top side of the channel to say it was a short. Um, hmm, this time might not be different. Might not be different. And it does that again where it just comes back into the top side of the channel. That's pretty far off. Yeah, that lines up. That does line up with it. Right there. Just do this. Yeah. I look for it to reject right there again. Interesting. Nice. Nice Broadcom. Nvidia's at 786. I know that. It's at 786. I finally had took some profit on Nvidia. So it's at 786 right now. Dang, we finally broke out of this channel. Wow. 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 I screwed up with AMD. I sold it. It was right after earnings. I sold it and I was like, I was thinking that we could get below this zone right here, and that didn't happen. I didn't want to buy back in because I had a bearish bias on it at the moment. At the moment, I did have thinking that it could come down a little bit more. And so I just never got back into it. And so now it's gone. But I remember buying it down here. I posted on it on X and I said, get long because of this right here. And a lot of people were trashing on AMD. And I was like, have you seen the higher time frame for AMD? Like it makes sense that AMD would pull back this deep. It made sense that it would pull back this deep. But now you get into where you want to buy, not financial advice, of course. It just made sense at the time. I never owned AMD before until that moment. And it was a nice run. And then it was right after earnings. Right after earnings, I sold this thing. I was like, it can come down a little bit more. It can come down. Then they had put in like a little head and shoulders. I was convinced I was going to get the target I wanted. I sold. I didn't get it. So, and I had said for repeatedly, I'm just going to buy some more. I'm just going to buy some more. And my mind changed instantly. It changed instantly. I didn't like the new tech that they was coming out with in here too. I did not like the new tech. They kind of flopped. Yeah, so dang, it's gone now. It is gone. Wow. Imagine that. Dang. That one breaks my heart right there. I see Bitcoin trying to move. I'm gonna jump back on Bitcoin real quick, see what we got right here. Put that back like that. Like I said, if we're really gonna hold this, then this could be a wave four, and we get a wave five up into around 80,000 to about 80, 82, 83, something like that. Possibly filling in that CME gap where you saw us initially rejecting from that CME. We could actually fill in that CME gap. I'm really not. I mean, I don't control the market, not a market maker or anything like that. So where it goes, it'll go. Those are just some probabilities of where it can reach to, if it does manage to hold here and get that break out above this level right here. It seems more like a lowest end if we're doing something like that. If we're doing something like that, right now we are still maintaining inside of this range here. Just this little range right here right now. We got this mother bar over here inside range right now. So I guess we'll see. See what happens. I'm not entering into the long position right now. Um, I'm just going to be very patient. I'll enter late if it's legit. I can be late and be right. If it's not legit, then I didn't enter. No foul, no harm. I said my normal bias would have been to take it once it dropped below this line right here. Take it, but I would have got stopped out. Right here when it did it, I would have got stopped out. Over here when it did it, could have made some money off of it. Uh, or even right here when it did it, but nah. I'm just gonna wait. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait. It's looking pretty decent. The bearish momentum is declining in here. It still reads bears in control, which they are. But yeah, main thing again is really I want to stick to saying the 50 as long as we're not coming back and tapping this and we break up again, possibly. We're going into the fifth wave to the upside, possibly. I'm gonna drop this. Basically, all that's showing is it getting back above the 382. I can just, since I already have that in here, just leave it like that. So getting back above this 382. $16, new 4-hour candle's gonna open. See if we can't. I suppose it's basically, it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. See, we're pushing back up above here. 77,750. We were probably just taking this little liquidity down through here. Let me just add my note in here. Helps me keep up with it. get up there. Might have been why I got in here late too. I told you yesterday when we take that liquidity, uh, I was going to be waiting for us to flip back down that level, flip back down that zone right there, which is this candle right here. So once that flipped, then I do it. I just wanted to make sure that the momentum was actually declining. I can add that in there later. The 1 hour I do prefer. I prefer it to do it like that. But we didn't do that yesterday either. But we knew we was watching this level right here. But that was actually the day before. And then, yeah, this was totally about something different. But we weren't doing that through here either. Delete this. Bitcoin pushing, guys. It's pushing. Could have did that. I'm waiting. Um, okay, 11 minutes here. But nice little move out of Biddy. Nice little move. Nice little move. I think it's the fact that I've done so good with making my little money. I'm not trying to give it back right now. I'm just trying to be a little bit more selective. That's all. I can, it's 50-50. I mean, it's always 50-50, right? It's always 50-50. Feel a little off my game this morning. I do feel a little bit off. I'm sick again, too. It's getting these. I think it's my sinuses more than anything. That's what I think. It's scaring the crap out of me because pain in my head. Yesterday, it was all on and off today. I'm not used to. It's just different. I'm not used to. I don't get headaches like that. I don't get headaches. I can feel I can tell that my sinuses are messed up too. So I'm thinking it's my sinuses that's causing it. My go-to medication for everything though is garlic. That's my go-to medication. um, it's working right now. Right now, on the move in the current state. I'll find out here in a few minutes when we get this 4 hour candle close. But on the move in the current state, maybe we come up somewhere around about 78,000, 78,053 somewhere. Um, let's see. I don't know why I'm all the way up there. uh, somewhere right in. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. It's above this. It's above here though. Uh, don't really mean anything. Let me just draw that line out here and have it pop into the chart. Oh, wrong chart. Let me delete that. Go to actually, the number is going to be different over here. There it is. Be something like that. Could be something like that. I'm going to take that away for a minute here and let's just plot this in here so I can see. That's a breakout, but it could be a failed breakout. Maybe back test or something like that. We'll see what happens. If it pushes through here, it comes up here. See how that works out. It's doing good. It's doing good. Mm-hmm. Sorry I didn't take it. Sorry I didn't take it. I'm usually in it on something like that. And then being the 50% retracement and talking about where we can invalidate, I'm usually in it. I don't know. I'm not feeling it right now. I told y'all once we took that liquidity on that mother bar that I was, I'm gonna feel a little different, and I'm feeling different. I'm feeling different right now. Hmm. Are we about to get into that golden pocket? That is the question. That is the question. I wonder if that's let me see something here. Cause I wonder. I'd turn that off for a minute. Oh, look at you, Biddy. Hmm. No, not that. My bad. I am looking at that 382 as well. That's a 382. Um, this chart is going to be totally different. That's a 50. I'm sorry. Uh, But from that high up here, I am looking at a 382 if I pull it up here. Now let me drop back in. I don't think that they're the same. 46 is going to be like the highest I was going to be looking at. Okay. 50 is below this 46. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. This right here, though, is. Sorry. I was trying to see what's happening. I should leave that right there. And gap fill is above here. See the 50. Both of those gave me the same information. Man, it's messing me up. Not bad though in reclaiming that support level right now. On the 4 hour, we're just slightly still below it. It is pretty much around about the same spot with this momentum line right there had popped out at, but you can see we're slightly below the level. You know, we come down, we get back up, come down, we try to get back up. So 4 hour just open. See if we're reclaiming it. If we're holding there, and then again, of course, a bit higher here. Taking out this liquidity here right into around this 80, and then you got these 82s up here, so right around it here. I'm still not in. the long just yet. Just waiting. Mm, nice recovery, Bitcoin. I don't really care about these two. Let me take these two off. I don't know why those are on either. Turn that off. Let me use it. So for me, maybe if we do something like this, I will get in. So maybe if we come up, let's say we slightly get above here, and then we, I guess we can't come back down that low, right? So maybe something about right here. This is where we're back above that support level, like that. Then I'll get in and I'll ride the wave, like that. So my entry would be something like this. Uh, I'll get in on something like that if the market gives it to me. If the market doesn't, then I just it's out, I suppose. 1 hour. That was pretty decent on that 1 hour too. I'm looking at it. Mm, Hmm. Wow, look like it. If it did push, it would push pretty fast through here, um, possibly leaving me in the dust. Let's see if I get it. Let me see if that were to happen, what would that look like for me? Hmm. Way to go, Bitcoin. Way to go, Bitcoin. Don't forget the other alternative is that, this was like a five-way move down right in here, which isn't possible. Possible that this was a five-way over down, and this could be an ABC correction in here, maybe coming up for a lower high, possibly just back into where this 50% retracement was, which could line up with like a golden pocket. I don't know that for sure. So let me just stop yapping and pull it. No, but it lines up with a 786. So possibly, possibly um, instead of this being a wave four, possibly, like I said, it could be that this was a five-way move. You got one, you got two, you got three, you got four, you got five, and then you do an ABC, and then you reject somewhere around here, which would stop me out. And then there's a short in here instead. And then we come back in and continue this move down. That could be the case. It's not bad too on a risk to reward with the 0.53. So that's pretty decent. Um, looks like the least probable would be this, but I mean, time will tell. Time will tell. But if this was it, this was that five, and there was nowhere to put a stop in here for it to be the five. Like I would have to. I'm not putting no stop all the way down there. I can tell y'all that. Not doing that. And then I'm looking forward to get up into here. About the same. We'll see. We'll see. But that's a scenario. That is a scenario as well. That is only something like this. They have some indicators out there. I've showed you guys this before. There are some indicators out there. TradingView has one. Like you still want to try to figure it out on your own too, because I don't really I mean indicators don't see what your eyes can see, you know. They really don't. I don't care how good the coding is. They really don't see what the eyes can see. There are some Elliott wave indicators out there. They do the basic 5 wave and basic zigzag, I believe. I don't think they go beyond that. So I know that this is basically back into that 50% retracement. I don't want to have all the lines on my chart, so I just do away with that. Um, oh, I'm sorry. Web Code Hub. How do you determine the target if there is a reversal? Liquidity is a big thing for me. So I look at liquidity. I look at support and resistance levels as well for the most part. And then I just look at, look for some other confluences for the area, but really it's liquidity because that's what markets move on, liquidity. So if I have a support resistance level around a liquidity zone, then I'll look at that. And when I say support resistance, I'm not looking at wicks. I use the wicks for liquidity, but the support resistance levels, I do that based on body closures and just like that. So where you have like bigger swings in the market, I really lean heavily on those as support resistance level. Now, some of these in here are not going to be big swing levels, but if you have, you take that away for a sec. You do away with that. So, like, this created a huge swing. Like, if it creates a huge swing, I like to look as far left as I can. Um, but if it creates a huge swing, then it's an important level. So this created a huge swing. You can see that whole swing right there. So from here, it created a huge swing. So that's an important level right there. You got a big reaction from down here. So I look at this one, and like I said, I'm gonna look at the body close on it. So that big swing level right there, you see how because of how the reaction off of that level, it'll tend to be a support level if price comes back into it because it was just such a great reaction in there. The one up here, watching that one. So that's why I'm looking at if price loses that 50% retracement, I'm going to look for it to come back in here and hold in here. Um, Look for it to come back and hold here because we got such a huge reaction off of that level there. We got a huge reaction right here. You can see how the market reacted off of this level. It managed to make all of this happen. So I'm watching, something like that. But anywhere in here where you can find like those huge swings at, those are important levels to me. I'm watching those because price will come back and respect those levels through here. Um, and just basically the same thing to the upside. Uh, and if it's around liquidity, like this was a liquidity area right here. This was a liquidity area right here. So if I got something that's, let me see, I didn't really have anything right there, but liquidity is a big factor. And then I think in here, I looked at this point right here. So I'm just going to highlight both of these with the liquidity and this. And I'll extend this out. So I know I'm watching this right here for price action to come up and look for some sort of reaction, rejection. So you can see how that worked out right there. You got the liquidity, and then you have that point where the price rejected pretty heavy right here. So those are the things that I look for in the chart. It takes money to move the market like that, so I focus on those a lot. And then, like I said, market makers are, an exchange works off of liquidity. So if you can find them together, then that's, those are nice points of interest. And I think it's good if you can get just a basic, because I'm a basic when it comes to Elliott wave. I'm a basic, but if you can get a basic, then you can help find you can easily find targets that way too. And that'll all just come together. And then I'll put that together with let me put that back for a sec. I'll put that together with my RSI. Let me see if that'll come on for me. So I'll put that together with my RSI just to see what that looks like in terms of it being a possible resistance level. And here you got the bear div. So you can see how we put in the higher high and price action as we came into this level, which makes it even more of a great level to watch to consider a short, because we put in a higher high and price action coming into a liquidity level and a major resistance level. And we put in a lower high in here on our RSI. I think at one point the RSI actually did tap here before rejecting. Before rejecting, um, but that's a sale right there. This is typically a reversal signal right here, which is why I'm being real patient about when I'm going to take my long position. Like I know what the invalidation is going to be, but I'm being really patient about that because we put in this higher high in price action and this lower high here on the RSI, which is a traditional reversal signal. Uh, It's too much stuff to have to look at, to be honest. To be completely transparent. So that's what I'm doing here too. On the next level up, if I'm gonna get something, so we had that, and then we got this in here. I try to get this. This is like the latest information right in here. So we got. Let me do this like this because I can't really tell with that. Yeah. So we got this here. There was this little reaction right here. It didn't do much for price action in terms of shooting price down, but it is still some liquidity right here. So I would look at that. Now this area right here is a little bit larger in size. It is a bit larger in size, but I can see that this through here, and I'm just going to put it as far as here is concerned. It's a little bit larger in size, but this is something that I would be watching right here. The only, let's see, not that I don't want to delete that. I'm going to delete this, but you'll see it here on my pivots as well, that I highlight that. So you'll see right here, my pivots, I highlight that in here on my pivots because I know it's going to be an important area for markets to pull back into if we were to get that push up. And the rest of it's just going to be space in between there, like really nothing to hold it back. Um, just see if it matches up with anything that might matter. That might matter. Uh, and what I'm gonna do and see it matches with this. It happens to match with the golden pocket without any attempt of trying to make it match with the golden pocket. It just happens to be that. So I just know that I'm gonna look there next. This is what we're attempting to hold right now. We're here. This is a little bit more petty. It is a little bit more petty for me, um, but it actually came from over here. It's a little bit more petty, in my opinion. I mean, it didn't do anything significant, in my opinion. It's there. It's there though. That was that liquidity in there. And the other thing too is if you got liquidity levels lining up with like golden pockets and stuff like that, then you're gonna look for price to break through those. You're not gonna look for easy rejection that is gonna push through them, whether it's to the downside or to the upside. You really want your if you like pull like Fibonacci levels and you're using those for support resistance, you really want to see something more like this frag. Well, actually, this one has this liquidity down below here. So on a pushback down into here, there'd be a stronger chance that price action would drop through this level right here just to get to that liquidity. But you should see price roll back up above it if that level is worth something, price will roll back up above it. Good practice to go back and do something like that. Just find your levels. I don't draw out levels per se on smaller time frames. I at least try to do a 4 hour and higher. I'm looking for a move that's worth me taking a risk. So 4 hour and higher is basically what I'm going to be looking at. Oh, this little line right here, um, just in case you were probably wondering on that, it has nothing to do with um, market structure from a chart standpoint. From the candlesticks, it had nothing to do with that. This is just where I can see my dynamic cloud at. It tends to act as a resistance level or a support level at times. So I'm just highlighting that in this situation right here because my cloud didn't move and I'm usually looking for my cloud to move. So I know it can act as a barrier to price action, which is why I did this right here. So it, this wouldn't have been something to just simply look at a chart and be like, possibly it couldn't have been something to just simply look at the chart and be like, yeah, that's going to be the spot right there. No, it's this is just about this indicator right here, because I know if price comes up, it can act like resistance, like right here, resistance. So I know if it comes up, it can treat it like resistance, and we can falter back below it, get a rejection right there. So that's all I'm looking at when I did that. I just didn't want to put the noise on the chart, so I did it from another screen and just plotted the line in there. Same thing. Same thing when we looked at it over here on this time frame and said it can be support. So same thing over here, how we dropped in to this, what is right here. We didn't actually tap the 50. We tapped right there. I know this can hold price action up and we can bounce away from it. I'm still not taking an entry because of that. I'm being more conservative today, personally, but I know I could have taken this entry, take it all the time, but not right now. Not right now. And then the one for the 4 hour is about 74.76, which is where we have a level of, we actually have a support resistance level there. And we're still catching the bid off of that level. Still catching the bid right here. Trying to push back above this level. Let me push out a little bit more so I can see it. Yeah, yeah. So seeing it from this stance right here, you can see why we catching a bid. It's just major resistance. It is major resistance. Like I said, big swing. Big swings tend to hold, just like we held when we first dropped down right here. Those big, when you see them big swings at, they tend to work out. So if we are dropping down into here, you know, that would be your big swing right here. I'm gonna go ahead and catch that. Hold on. Something ain't clapping right. but it's right now it is this one right now. That's what we did. All right, Biddy. Well, at least we did did get above this, and they didn't keep us sideways in here on that. But it is 8:39, guys. That I mean, that's it for me. That's really where we stand. We're truly holding this right here. And this wasn't just a five-wave move down, and then we're putting in an ABC correction, which would likely push us back up to that short, like the 786, which was back up here around this 50% retracement. Or you just pull your fib down from that high to this low to that 786, and then looking for a rejection there. If it is a five-wave move and you see us pressing through there, we get through here, then I'll be looking again around the $80,000 range up into about the 80 at golden pocket. I'm just going to say the golden pocket. I was going to tell you 82 because we do have resistance around 82 as well. I think that 82 is more in line with what I see for the ETF and also for the CME gap. That makes perfect sense of alignment when you put those three together. Personally, I would say, let's see, this gap here is up to around, yeah, 81. And then like I said on that here, if we were getting past here, you got this right here, but I would be looking right here. I think that that's, yeah, I don't really see a hold up in here other than, let's just say the gap. Other than the gap, I don't really see the hold up. I'm just double checking. Yeah, it'll possibly be just us getting above here, something like that. That could just be it. If this is, I mean, from here it looks decent. It looks decent from here. We are pushing. Uh, They are pushing. Hmm. Definitely gonna have some trouble around that $80,000 level. So that'd be target one. Target two would be the golden pocket and whatnot. I don't know. I don't feel thorough on that, but um, that would be it. Let me hang out a little bit to see if I can get my entry, if it wants to give me something like that, and then I'm gonna be out. I appreciate you for stopping by to hang out with me. I am down to Crypto TA. This is the Corn King channel that I host on Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Supposed to be 6 to 8. I've been overkill a little bit lately. I just hate to leave without seeing something, but it's been, I don't know. It's been slower here in the mornings once again. I think the bigger thing and the reason why so many of us are getting, why the confusion comes in too, is the time frame between 1 to 4. Like it really requires looking further out right now than focusing on your smaller time frames. Because if you're looking at your higher time frame right now, it doesn't indicate a huge drop at the moment. At the moment, those time frames are not suggesting that. And so when we're zoomed in on these lower time frames, we see the volatility and, you know, we jump the gun into thinking that the worst is about to happen in this moment, but the higher time frames are not confirming that. And we need to get confirmation. It will be late, absolutely, but we need to have confirmation from the higher time frame that we're at a point of a reversal and not a point of a correction. Very important. We got a little bit of volatility right there. Nice to see the chart doing something. And also, don't forget if we do again see that accelerated move down, I'm really gonna wait for my daily target. Let me not say that because I know me. I'll at some point, at some point, I might change my mind. But if I've been waiting on that daily target forever though. It hasn't come yet. But that's still the thing. Like nothing below here. And then that daily target was what, somewhere right in here. Yeah, 62, 866, somewhere right in here. Something like that. It can be anywhere in here for me, if it looks right. But it's somewhere right in here. I don't know how possible it could be. I don't know. We're not getting back above there. They're not letting us have that. Not right now. But be patient on I know we all want to be a bottom catcher. We all do. I have my days where I'm trying to get that bottom too. Today just ain't one of them for me. It's just not. It's Thursday. Liquidity starts leaving on Thursdays too. Bears are pissed because we got this move up. But I hit you up on X if I see anything different. Appreciate you for joining me today. Love and appreciate each and every last one of you. Please be sure you hit the like button. I really appreciate it if you hit the like button for me. And if you're not subscribed, do subscribe to the channel. I've been trying to get the count up. I've been trying to get the count up. So join me again in the morning. We got what we're looking at. So that's it. But I will I actually type something up and then I'll post it on X too. And then that way you'll have it and you'll know what we're kind of like trying to watch and hear. Just to stay in, just so you'll have a plan, a blueprint or something, at least something like that. Because right now I don't know, and I'm just being real patient, really, 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 really patient right now on choosing to taking a loan. Um, Even if it's just, yeah, I'm waiting. So see you later. Love and appreciate you. Goodbye.